Card number 3, the youth. The key words: adventure, new horizons, excitement, independence, freedom, rebellion, impulsiveness, loyalty, compromise. Key phrases for this card: quest for adventure, live in the moment, action without thought, defying tradition and conformity, greater risk, greater reward, assert your independence, embrace individuality, a new direction, freedom from fear and doubts, a time of conflict or turmoil, communication and compromise, address desires. The meaning of this card: sweet-faced and begilding, the youth has left the security of home and hearth without a backward glance. He is alone but confident in the knowledge that a loving and supportive family will be there if he has need of them. On a quest for adventure and discovery, he seeks the excitement of the new and unknown in distant lands. Following whispers and rumor, he takes risks with little thought or care. His choice is to live in the moment. The past is left behind, while thoughts of the future rest only as far as his next journey. Every adventure gives him a greater knowledge of the world and his place in it. Believing himself both immortal and infallible, he often acts spontaneously, using his charm and enthusiasm to win him favor and release him from strife. He rebels against sage advice to use restraint or caution. As far as the youth is concerned, the greater the risk, the more rewarding the outcome. The only loyalty he shows is to those companions who journey with him. Those who are loyal to the quest will have his loyalty in return, while those who seek to curb and restrict him will be met with resistance. Those who share his passions and interests are right, while those who do not are wrong. There are no shades of gray. The youth sees all in black and white. The youth also seeks the freedom to find his own answers. Tradition be damned. Life is too short to follow in another's footsteps and do things their way. The youth will do things his way without thought for the consequences. His concern is for today. Tomorrow can take care of itself. If the influence of this card is from the past, the youth has a transitional meaning and is a combination of the child and youth. The child of old, once happy to share common loves with parents and siblings, finds his interest taken by the new and different. Suddenly the old loves and passions seem tired and dull, as the desire for the new and exciting burns within him, bringing conflict and disruption to a once harmonious home. The child who becomes the youth begins to disconnect from his family and assert his independence and individuality. The youth may be seen as ungrateful, rebellious, and troublesome by parents or friends who seek to maintain control and who long for the return of the child. They do not understand that these changes are a natural and necessary process for a youth to move toward maturity. The ensuing conflict inspires a desire within the youth to escape, to be free of those who do not understand him and who seek to prevent him from exploring the world outside of the confines of his home. When the youth appears in the past, he represents a time of conflict and turmoil born of a disconnection within a relationship, a state of mind, or a belief system. The old is giving way to the new. You have a choice: resist change and live with the consequences, or let go and welcome it in. There will still be consequences, but there will also be rewards. If this card is having influence on your present, are you bored with the routine of your life? Do you stare out the window, dreaming of something different, of change and of a new direction? Do you express this need for change only to be met with platitudes, told that if you focus on loving and appreciating what you already have, that you will be happy? Or are you reminded of what you might lose if you make a radical change to your life, choose to defy convention, or rebel against tradition? When you voice your need to do something more with your life, do people around you suddenly question their own importance, as if they should be held in higher regard than your own dreams and aspirations and ambitions? Understand that we are ever evolving and transforming beings. Sometimes we develop new interests because they are meant to steer us in a new direction, to change and transform our lives in every way, so that we may grow to reach our fullest potential. Sometimes these interests create an awareness that we are meant to leave the life we have and explore unexplored realms of possibility and opportunity. The new interests reveal that those who have grown together are now meant to grow apart. If the youth appears in the present, he represents a necessity to address a desire for change within your life, and asks that you have the courage and determination to make your choice without allowing others to discourage you or steer you in a direction of their choosing. If you do not put your own interests first, the potential for greater unhappiness and conflict will increase. You've dreamed for long enough. Now is the time to act, even if it means leaving behind all that is safe and familiar. If this is a future influence, it comes to you and has more of a passive message and meaning. Here, he speaks of the influence of emotional energy, unconscious thoughts and beliefs, and how they work to manifest the future. The youth, because he chooses to live in the moment, gives less thought to consequences and future outcomes, and because he lives life free from the burdens of fear and doubt, his choices often give rise to a future that is both productive and creative. How many times have you talked yourself out of doing something what you know will make you happy for fear of what might go wrong? How many times have you shied away from a spontaneous moment or impulse that could have manifested in joy and laughter because you were afraid of the way others would react? A live-in-the-moment approach to life can often result in a happier future, especially if the choices and actions of the present are motivated by pure intentions, positive thoughts, and love. For all his seeming lack of awareness, the youth moves through life with a lighter step because he does not worry about tomorrow. This does not mean that he lacks depth or is ignorant. He is passionate and willing to commit to a cause that interests him, and he does so without fear. In the same way, he refuses to expend energy or attention on that which holds no interest for him, or what might or might not eventuate. It could be said that this is the true essence of freedom. A potential blockage to be aware of, an awareness. Unwilling to abide by rules that maintain order and harmony, the youth rebels against those in positions of authority and anyone who demands that he moderate his behavior when it causes hurt to those around him. Regardless of whether his actions are justified or not, the reversed youth may be lacking in empathy and unwilling to consider the feelings of others, especially when there is a chance for him to pursue his own interests. The reversed youth refuses to give in and may be unaware or unwilling to see that he is guilty of selfishness. When censured, he might respond with emotional outbursts, aggression, and impulsive behavior and choose to run away. When the youth appears reversed in a reading, it asks you to ask yourself if you are running away from a situation that could be resolved with communication and compromise. Are you being overly rigid and narrow-minded, refusing to see your actions from another's perspective? Running away from conflict does not bring resolution. Neither does being selfish, impulsive, or inflexible. Instead, be open and empathetic. It is not a question of giving up the things that interest you, but one of moderation and temperance. Do not pursue your freedom to such an extreme that you prevent others from having the same freedom. I hope you enjoyed that.